welcome everyone. Hey guys out there in the World Wide Web. Also, part of my bio is I like hats. If you've ever seen me in person, you know I'm the guy with the fedora, and you can pick me out in the crowd anywhere. Anyway, welcome everyone. My name is Rick Kramer. Here's a little bit about me. I'm one of the monthly hosts, or the monthly host on all our Bluebeam webinars. I've done Tech Talk presentations at XCon, and I love Bluebeam. Everything about Bluebeam is amazing. Today's webinar is really going to be about, how to use Bluebeam when you start to go through and get a set of revised drawings. So without further ado, let me go through, and I want to go through a full example, soup to nuts as they say, on working with a set of revised drawings. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen over here in just a second. All right. Maddie, do you happen to see my Windows Explorer?
I sure do.
Awesome. All right. Well, welcome everyone. So let me give you a big picture, folks, of what I'm trying to do here today. I want to utilize Bluebeam Revu to not only manage my documents, redline them, but I also want to be able to show how I can start to use markups and also what to do when I receive an updated drawing set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my workflow from beginning to end on working on a set of documents, and then how to use them if you're using studio projects. So I hope you're ready, because we're going to be covering a lot of information. And by the way, if you have questions, please put them in the chat area now, down over here on the side or down at the bottom of your screen. Put in your questions and I'll answer them at the very end of the presentation. So without further ado, here's the scenario. We have a set of drawings over here from the architect. And then in just a little bit, I'm going to receive an updated set of revised drawings. I'm going to show you how we're going to go through and slip sheet the drawings, but more importantly, how to create what's called a drawing set, and then how to produce that into a studio project, put it into a session, and then during a session, let's say we receive an updated set of drawings, how to go through and update those drawings. So first, let's start with the original drawings. I already have them opened over here, and I want to show you the process that I go through when working on an original set of drawings. This, for example, is one file, multiple sheets. So what I've done over here is I've opened up my thumbnails, and you can see that I have all my individual sheets. Now, typically when we receive drawings that are created out of a PDF application, non-Bluebeam, or even some third party, the page labels over here don't make any sense. And when you have 500 or 500 sheets, it's hard to navigate through the drawings themselves. What I want to do is I want to show you the process that I go through to clean the drawings. And then I'm going to create what's called a drawing set. In addition to that, thanks to my friend Richard out in San Jose, California, I'm going to go through and create bookmarks as well to go through and organize my drawings and be able to navigate them even better. So a shout out to my friend Richard for bringing me into bookmarks. All right, so over here we have all of our thumbnails. What I'm going to do over here is you'll notice it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know what drawing is what. And the only way that I'd be able to navigate the drawings is to push the next button, the next button, the next page, right? Well, this is an impossible task and could take hours. What I'm going to do over here is create page labels. Over here, what I'm going to do is tell it to do page region. What Bluebeam is going to do, it's going to go through and scan the documents. I'm going to click select. And over here, what I'm going to do is window around, for example, the sheet number. Not only am I going to include the sheet number in what's going to show up as the page label, I'm also going to go in and add a space, dash space, and add another field. And in this case, what is the name of the sheet? Over here, I can see a preview of exactly what this is going to be. Now, in the magic of Bluebeam, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK and apply it to all 33 pages. It only takes a few seconds to do this. It's opening up each drawing and going through and scanning that information. And voila, look over here on my thumbnails. Now I have the ability to see each drawing. And by the way, I can change the scale of those drawings over here so I can see what those drawings are. Pretty awesome, right? But I'm going to do one step better, and this is a shout out to Richard. Over here, if I want to navigate the drawings, I can start to go through and see what they look like here, but I also want to utilize bookmarks. Again, this is everything that I do to go through and clean up the drawings the very first time I start using them. Over here, what I'm going to do is click Show Bookmarks. Bookmarks is an easier way to navigate through a drawing set. This gives me the ability through thumbnails to navigate through, but I see all the thumbnails. If I have 150 sheets or 5,000 sheets, it might get a little bit long. What I'm going to do over here is do bookmarks, and you'll notice the bookmarks here have been set, but the thing is they don't make sense. What I'm going to do is you might have some bookmarks that are here, and some of them that might just be a jumble of a bunch of different letters and numbers. I've seen that before. What I'm going to do is highlight them all, right-click, and delete. What I'm going to do is create new bookmarks over here, and so what I'm going to do is create bookmarks, and what I'm going to do is tell it to create it from the page labels. Awesome. Hit OK. And I'm done. How easy is that? Now, I have a set of drawings over here I can easily navigate. By the way, if you wanted to go through and color code your drawings, let's say for argument's sake I had architectural, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, I can start to go through and highlight some of these and go to their properties and change their color. Over here, I'm going to change that just for fun to blue. And now these are blue. So you can imagine you can start to go through and start to color code your drawing set. Let me go back and change these back to the way they were. I'll go to properties and change these back to black. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Now we're at a great start. Over here, what I'm going to do next is I want to go through and work on this as a drawing set. Now, again, this file is one page, one file, multiple pages. Now, the reason why we're going to use drawing sets is I want to break up this drawing. In this case, the file could be huge. Bluebeam and any other PDF application does not like large files when it comes to PDFs. It's best to work on individual files, especially when we start to talk about slip sheeting. Slip sheeting will start to go through and add that updated drawing directly in front or behind the new sheet. But the problem is if we put it into a single file with multiple pages, instead of having 33, now I'll have 66 pages of different information. Having a drawing set splits up the drawing into individual sheets, which makes it easier to navigate and also distribute on any other device. So what I'm going to do over here on my thumbnails is do Control A. I know this is a lot, folks, and by the way, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch this again and again with some popcorn. Over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all the thumbnails, right-click, and what I'm going to do is extract these sheets. Remember, I'm doing this because I want to create a drawing set. Over here, I'm going to export these all as separate sheets. I want to make sure not to open the files afterwards, because if you have 500 sheets, you'll have a slew of thumbnails that you're going to have to close. It's not a big deal, but I don't want to open up all of the drawings afterwards. So I'm going to extract them as separate files, and more importantly, use the page label that I've created over here to give the file names. Over here, I'm going to simply hit OK. And now I'm going to go through and find where I want to place this. So over here, I'm going to say, here's my single sheets original, and I'm going to place them in here. Just like that, it went through and created them. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and save what I'm working on and close it. If I take a look at my drawings over here, here are my single sheets. Isn't that awesome? I went through and exported out all those drawings. Each one of these are tiny, which means it's very easy to distribute and work on a mobile device like this iPad. All right? So now, how do we start to go through and create drawing sets? Drawing sets gives us the ability to take a set of drawings, in this case just architectural, but if I had architectural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and so on, it'll take the whole individual drawings and it'll behave like a construction set of rolled drawings where I can take them and navigate them, and they'll behave like a single file, multiple page document. This will make sense in just a little bit. Over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new drawing set. Over here, click New Set, hit OK, and over here what I'm going to do is add the folder. In this case, I'm going to pick the original folder over here, and you might be wondering, gosh, this sounds like a lot, but trust me, once you get into the rhythm of this, it'll be easy. I'll hit OK, and it asks me to put the sheet name. I click Select, and over here say this is the sheet name. It scans them, And next, let's see if it asks me for the sheet number. Yep, so I'll hit select. And what it's doing is it's individually going through and scanning each one of those files. And in just a little bit, it's going to categorize them all. Here it did, it just went through and scanned everything, and I'll hit OK. And what it's going to do, it's adding tags, and on the left-hand side of my screen, boom, there's all my architectural sheets. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and save this set as, and I'm going to just save this set as, oh no, let's see if I can type this at the same time, oh no, not another drawing set. All right, let's just call it oh no for short. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that over here in my webinar. Oh no, that's what it's going to be called. So the drawing set enables me to go through and navigate this. And when I open up a drawing, for example, if I start to work on A1.1, I can start to go through and redline this drawing. And if I go through, you'll notice that it says an individual sheet. So I'm really just creating a single drawing. Let me go through and start to mark up this drawing. But before I do, let's take this drawing set and bring it into a studio project. A lot of customers ask me, when we're working on revised drawings, we have the ability and we want to share that information in a studio project. So let me go through the process of taking this into a studio project, then create this as a session, and then revert back and say, all right, we're going to fast forward and get a revised set of drawings. And I want to show you the process on how to work with getting a revised set of drawings into a studio environment. All right, so over here, what I'm going to do is open up Studio. And what I'm going to do is create a new project. Starting a new project is very easy, and I'm going to call this April, oh no. All right. Now, in studio projects, you have the ability to add people to a project and invite them. That's a whole nother webinar on working on projects. I believe I already did that already, so you can check that out. Now, this particular studio project, what I'm going to do is select upload files. When I do that, I have the ability over here to open up a drawing set, the one that I've already created. What I'm going to do is hit OK. And you know what? It brought in the wrong drawing. Wah, wah, wah. Let me go ahead and delete that. Let me upload the drawing set over here. Open set. I'm going to open the files. It's just as, oops, sorry. Hey, that's what happens when you do live stuff. Over here, let me go through and open files. Here we go, single sheets original, and I'm going to bring these in. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I'll have to work on that drawing set. Not sure what was going on with that, but nonetheless, it's going through and uploading all of these individual drawings, which is awesome. Now what I'm going to do is, as it's starting to go through in this drawing, let's say we have this drawing right here. I'm going to start to work on it and check it out. By the way, within projects, this gives me the ability to open up individually a drawing file and then start to work on it. In this case, only one person can work on this file. In this case, what I want to do is, let's say for argument's sake, I start to go through and make my own cloud little markup over here. Need additional detail. All right, but I want to distribute this to my whole entire team. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check it back in. It's going to save that markup that I just created, but what I'm going to do is create a studio session so I can invite everyone to start working on this drawing with me. Or maybe I'm distributing red lines or sharing a current set of documents with my contractor. In this case, what I'm going to do is go over here and I'm going to select the file or files that I want to create into a drawing session, right-click and add to a session. Over here, I'm going to call this the Oh No session and hit OK. What it's going to do, it's going to take these two files and create it in a studio session. If you haven't used sessions before, it's amazing. It gives you the ability to work on a document live anywhere in the world. So if I'm working from home and Madeline is working on a project out in the field, I can share this file with her wherever she's at and never have to email anything. It's never checked out. And when she opens it, she starts to work on it. And I see those changes live. So in this case, she's all the way in Chattanooga. I'm over here in Florida, and I'll see her changes and markups immediately. Over here, let's go ahead and open up one of those drawings. So I have 8.11. Here's my red line that I had created before. Let me start to go and create some additional ones. When I go over here and start to create some additional ones, I'm going to add the Cloud Plus over here and start to say, need ADA ramp. Whatever it is that I'm about to put in, right? All of this information, by the way, is captured as the author. Had I invited Maddie to this session, I'll see her comments down below, as well as her as the author. By the way, in a session, I won't be able to modify her comments. Now, let's fast forward. Let's say, for argument's sake, it's the next week. I received an updated set of drawings. How do I go through and update those drawings? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and close the session. So the catch is, to update the files, this project has to be out of, or the files have to be out of a session back into a project. Then what I'm going to do is check out that file in the project and then slip sheet it. You'll see what I mean in just a second. Over here, what I'm going to do is close the session. Think of a session as everyone standing on a piece of carpet. That carpet is this PDF. I can't switch that PDF or carpet to another one because everyone's standing on it. I have to finish the session in order to put in a new file. So I'm going to click Finish Session, and here's where Studio Projects come in hand. Over here, what I'm going to do is save and overwrite back into the project. Now, folks, what this does, it updates the file that's in the Studio project. Remember, this isn't on my computer, it's not on my server, or anything like that. It's updating the file that's in the Studio project by overwriting what's back in the Studio. I'll go ahead and generate a report, and I'll go ahead and close the files after finishing. I'll go ahead and hit OK. Now, what it's doing is it's going back and pulling it out of that session and showing me that it's now done. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to temporarily open up that file in just a second, and it shows me this is what I have. I'm going to go ahead and close it and check it back in. When I check it back in, you'll notice in just a minute I'll have these two updated files. Over here, let me go ahead and close this, check this in. I'll close my summary report. By the way, the summary report in a session gives me an idea of exactly what was done during the session. I'll go ahead and close it. Remember, now we're back into the Studio project. Over here's my Studio project, and I'm going to go through and let's say I check this out, right-click and open, hit no. I'm opening up that file. Now I'm back in the Studio project. I hope I didn't lose anyone. I might have, I get it. Remember, Studio projects, sessions. You don't have to use sessions, but I like using sessions to share my drawings with everyone live. Okay, so over here, let's say I receive an updated set of drawings. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go through and do a batch slip sheet. I'm going to add my current drawing open files. Oops, there it is right here. So here's my drawing. And what I'm going to do is now add the files that I received as my revised drawings. Over here are my single sheets. And in this case, I was told that I have an updated set of drawings. I'm going to select this one right here and select Open. Over here, I can use Page Region to make sure that I correlate these two drawings that are updated. I'll select Page Region and click on Select. I'm going to tell it to match the pages according to the sheet number. I'll hit OK. That way, in case the page number itself gets called something different, or the file's called something different, I'll click Match Pages. And what this does, it starts to go through and match those pages. Now, here's the magic. Over here, what I'm going to do is insert this page. There's two options. One is I can simply replace it. I don't want to do that. I always want to see what is my older drawing. So I'm going to insert it and then tell it to stamp it Superseded, and then copy those markups and have them bubble up to the top. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It went through and organized all my drawings, and over here I can see a list of all the drawings. I'll go ahead and hit OK. It slip sheeted one. I'll go ahead and take a look at that report. Over here, here's my current report. Perfect. Everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now, let's take a look in our studio project to see what happened. Over here, I'm going to go to my project. Oh no. Take a look at this drawing and open it. When I take a look at this particular drawing, if I take a look at my thumbnails, I should have had this drawing right here. Sorry, wrong one. Check in. This file right over here that I'm looking at has the original drawing. The original drawing says Superseded. Pretty awesome. Then in my new drawing has the new drawing built in. Pretty awesome. Now, this particular file did not have red lines. And if I had gone through and created the red lines, I do apologize. I know that was kind of confusing. I had created the red lines on a different drawing. In this case, this particular drawing, when I bring it in, it shows me on a single file, the new drawing and then the old drawing. Now I can simply go ahead and close it, hit save, and now my drawings over here in my project have my latest, greatest drawings. It's just that easy. So again, when we start to go through and create updated drawings, you want to go through and split the drawings into a drawing set or export them out as individual sheets. Then when you bring it into a studio project, you have the ability to go through and bring in those drawings and then go through and have revised drawings easily created by bringing it out of the session into a project, okay? Open up the file or files and then do a slip sheet on the open files. And that's all you got to do. Awesome. So I know I talked a lot. There was a lot to kind of unpack there. What I'd like to do is I'd like to see if there's any questions from the audience. Maddie?
Yes. So we got one question in. Within Bluebeam window, is there a place where I can see what sheet set I am looking at? Concern being, if I have two different BEX files, how do I know I am in the correct one?
Okay, so the BEX file is the drawing set. In this case, you have to know that there's really kind of no way to know that you're in the current drawing set. Ideally, what happens is here's my recommendation to the person that asked the question. The drawing set is always the current set of drawings. So what I always do in my projects is that wherever I'm at in the set of phase of construction documentation, DD, CD, whatever it is percentage-wise, the current BEX file in the root directory of that project is always my current file, my current set of drawings. And if I have other drawings that are older, as they start to get updated, I'll simply go through and slip sheet into this drawing set, the older drawings. The set will always be the most current. So to answer your question, because there really is no way to know which is the current drawing set, one of the things that you could do is when creating that set, right, I would give it a date. So I would give this, 4 or 2022-04. And that way I know that this is the most current drawing set because it has a date stamp in the file name. But typically I go through and I only have one BEX file per project. So it's always the latest, greatest. Great question.
Okay, we got a couple more. When slip sheeting, does it add new sheets or just replace existing sheets?
When slip sheeting, so that's my friend Michael. Michael, thank you so much for joining. When slip sheeting, it does not replace. In this case, what it's doing is this particular drawing, if we take a look at the thumbnails, that file itself, if we were just to open it up, which we are over here, it doesn't replace the sheet. It has a second sheet to it. So when we're looking to it, this has 2 pages over here on this particular drawing. You'll notice it says 1 of 35. This acts like a drawing set. But if we were to take a look at this individual file outside of Bluebeam or just opening it up, it has 2 pages within one file. So it doesn't replace it. Remember, when we go through on batch slip sheet, we have that option to go through and just replace the old one, replace the new one, with just the current file, so we only have one file, or you can leave the old ones there and it'll say superseded. Great question, Michael.
Okay, we've got a question from Ben. He wanted an example of how to bring those slip-sheeted files back to one consolidated PDF file. Will it include the superseded sheet?
Okay, so if you wanted to go through and combine all those files, one of the things, well, I would go over here to drawing sets, right? In the drawing set, what I can do is I can print or publish the whole set and combine them. So over here, what I can do is simply click on Combine, and it's going to go through and create this as a combined set. So I'm going to call this Combined. Now, when I do this, I'm going to hit Cancel real quick, because one of the things that we can do is we can select just the latest, select previous, or select all. So it all depends what we want to do. So I'm going to do select all, okay, publish, combine. Over here, I'm going to go through and create this as a new set of drawings, as one combined set of drawings, and I'll call this combined. That's funny, I haven't had that question come up yet before. And I'll go ahead and hit save. It's going to combine all these, and you can see this one has page 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. That combined set of drawings, I'm going to go ahead and close this so it's not kind of confusing. And I'm going to open up thumbnails, and there's a single file with all my pages. So I can take them and put them and fold them back into one single file. And here's my superseded, and here's my other sheet. To kind of talk about this just for a second, Ben, you know, when we're working with a single file, a lot of times when we produce drawings out of Revit or AutoCAD, most of the time, even as a project architect, you go through and you create a drawing file, a single PDF, multiple pages. I get it. It's easier to transport and send in an email. But what happens is when you start to slip sheet in this case, new updated drawings, if I had 50 drawings through here that were slip sheeted, I would see duplicate of each one of these sheets with a with an updated superseded stamp. Instead of doing that, if we deal with sets, stamps are great too. When we go through with sets, it behaves as a single file, multiple page, but then all I have to do is click to see exactly what is the latest, greatest. Great questions.
All right, well, we got a couple more in as well. Matt says he is a plans examiner and frequently receives sets of plans that do not have bookmarks. And the create and add bookmark buttons are grayed out. What is the process to create bookmarks for the plan set?
So it shouldn't be grayed out. You know, again, one of the things we provide over here at Applied Software is technical support and training to our customers. If you're a customer of ours, just email us at bluebeam@asti.com, and I can work with you, Matt, one-on-one to figure out what's going on. But you should be able to take a drawing file like this, for example, right-click. I mean, granted, this is a set. Let me go ahead and close the set so we're not kind of confused over here. When I look at this combined set of drawings, this is a combined file, I go to Bookmarks, it shouldn't not be grayed out. Over here, all I have to do is create bookmarks, and I can start to go through and create bookmarks using, in this case, I want to make sure to use page labels. The key for this, Matt, is create page labels first on all your files. Then right-click, go to Show, and go to Bookmarks, and create your bookmarks from the page labels. I also saw a question over here. I'm looking over to my left real quick, Maddie, and there's a question over here from Tiffany. How do you slip sheet in the standard or CAD edition since they don't have batch feature like the Extreme edition? Great question. So everything that I've shown you so far, for the most part, can be done in the standard and CAD edition. The feature that I'm talking about in slip sheeting in batches of files, this is called batch slip sheet. So let me kind of take a step back real quick. Bluebeam comes in 3 different editions: Standard, CAD, and Extreme. In the Extreme version, one of the features that it has, it's feature rich, but in the batch feature, I have the ability to take a whole set of drawings and either compare them to see what's different about them, or go through and slip sheet all of those drawings. So if you can imagine, my friend Michael, on a project that he's working on, he said, I think you said it was like 1,000 pages. You can start to go through and automatically bring all of those and shuffle them in using the batch slip sheet. If you have the standard or the CAD, it can still be done. It's tedious. Over here, what we do is select Document, and over here we can click Insert. Now, when we do Insert, we can basically insert one page at a time. Back over here in our individual pages, another way that that can be done is in our thumbnails. We can right-click and we can insert pages. When we insert the pages, that has to be done manually, and you insert one page at a time. You can imagine within just half hour how much tedious time that would take. That's why a lot of people, when they're working with features like this, they go ahead and get the Extreme Edition.
Okay, we got a couple more questions in. Tim wanted to know, do you have to be using drawing sets in order to use slip sheeting?
No, not at all. I like using drawing sets, Brian, and the thing is, you don't have to use drawing sets. You can have a combined set of drawings and slip sheet into your single file multiple page. You don't have to use drawing sets. I'm just a big fan of drawing sets. And it's mostly because if I'm sending this drawing out to someone, a single file multiple page PDF could easily be 50 megs, and most email applications won't allow it, and it gets bounced back. The second is if you're on a tablet like an iPad, it doesn't like 50 meg files as a PDF. Some PCs even struggle with it. My 5-year-old laptop struggles with a 50 meg PDF file. So in a set, I have an individual file that is an individual page that's only a couple kilobytes.
Okay, and the last question for right now is from Ben. Is a set a different file type, and is that something that someone with Adobe Reader can navigate?
So no, that's a great question, Ben. And so the BEX file over here, when we start to go through and create our drawing set, is unique over here to Bluebeam. So what you would have to do is, if you have a drawing set and you wanted to share this with someone else that's outside of the Bluebeam sandbox, all we have to do is publish this, and we can create it as a PDF package. If you've used AutoCAD, for example, they have something called eTransmit, which takes all the files and puts it all together in one zip file. The PDF package will do the same thing. This will create a zip file where you can then email this out. The other thing that you could do is just combine it like what we just did, and then with that combined set, just send it out as an email. The second way of doing this is reprinting all of these sheets, and then it'll give you the option. Do you want to print this as individual sheets, individual files, or combine them like we have in AutoCAD and Revit into a single file multiple page? My choice would always be to create a PDF package or create a combined set. And that combined set, like right here, to distribute it, all I have to do is select email, and it'll attach it to an email, and then I can send it on its merry way. Great question, Ben. 10 points for Ben. By the way, if you haven't noticed already, I love Bluebeam, and one of the things that I love doing is providing training and technical support for Bluebeam. So if you're out there and you're looking to learn more about Bluebeam and would like us to do some training for you, please reach out to us at bluebeam@asti.com.